Hey, Vito La Fata here with Fitness Profit Systems and the Fitnesspreneur's Live Show. Now welcome. Today what we're going to be doing is talking about how to take your business online. It's a common question that I get all the time, but before we can ever dig into the question of how do I get my business online, the first question, the more important questions are first, why should I be taking my business online? And I love talking about the window, especially when I'm talking to fitness coaches and fitness professionals that are looking to take their business to the next level and get out there and make a bigger difference. It's got to be about understanding the window. Now, the window of what is happening right now online is something that can't be ignored. We can't put it on the side burner. We can't get to it later because it's happening right now underneath while the entire economy of the industry is moving. Because these numbers are critical to know. Right now, currently, there are 3 billion people online. 3 billion people. That window is 3 billion people online. When I think about when I owned my studio, I used to think that I used to compete in the market with the CrossFit and the other local mom and pop gym and the Lifetime Fitness and the 24 Hours. We were all fighting for a 3 to 5 mile radius of the people in our community. That made it tough. That made it scrappy. That made it like, man, we're all fighting for the same person all the time. But yet, when I started to take my business online, I started to be able to speak to 3 billion people. That's a lot more than the 3 to 5 mile radius that I was living in Orange County in Laguna Hills. The current estimates, though, are that 3 billion more people are coming online in the next 5 years. Do you want to be marketing to 6 billion people over the next 5 years? Or you want to be just always competing in that 3 to 5 mile radius? That's the question I want you to ask yourself, so that before we even talk about how do I get online and what are the purposes about getting online, you just really got to first frame up why this is critical, why we can't ignore this, and why you got to get serious about it, because starting right now, it's game on. So, what are the purposes behind going online? When you understand the critical principles and fundamentals of going online, it makes it a lot easier to keep it out of the realm of it's confusing, it's overwhelming, I don't know what I should be doing out there. And there's a couple simple things about going online. Number one, I always like to think about that it's really to build a list. You want to be building a list by going online. You've heard those amazing stories of the money's in the list, the wealth is in the list, my business is in the list, and part of that is very true. When you have a list and you know how to nurture it and take care of that list, you have a couple really important things in your business, and I learned these lessons the hard way, because a list, which is you collecting emails and addresses and things like that and putting them into a software that you can manage and control that list, communicate with it, educate it, give offers to it. Super important, because I remember it was about 2010 when I was going through the buyout of my ex-business partner, and she walked out with like $35,000 of our business because they were were her clients, a lot of people wanted to follow her, and they walked out overnight. But one of the things that I had in my business that saved my ass was the fact that I still controlled the email marketing list. The list stayed with me and the business. So when I began talking to that list, I was able to go back and just turn around and communicate with it, make it some offers, and over the next 6 months of me just working the list, I brought that $35,000 back in. That's like having an ATM machine. I always think of the list like an ATM machine and an insurance policy. Man, I used to say if my business burned down and you keep me the list, I'll rebuild that business within a certain amount of time, because that list is the relationship that you want. And that's what's really important about going online. When you're out there working it online, your primary thought is, am I adding them to my list? Not just am I putting stuff out there, but is it always leading back to my list so that I can grow that list and then I can make money on the back end of that list. And that leads us to 2 more purposes about what really going online is about. Going online is about spreading your message. You all have a message. You all have things that you want to communicate to clients, to prospects, to the world about the difference that you can make in their athletics, in their fitness, in their wealth, in obesity, in productivity, whatever it is, whatever niche of what you're doing out in that fitness industry is. You want to spread your message out there. But the problem is, and probably why, you're not as successful as you can be, as you will be, is the fact that no one knows you. No one knows about your stuff. You're still out there working the one-to-one all the time. Every time you got to market to somebody, every time you got to ask for a referral, every time you want to tell somebody about the 3 ways to help back pain, the 3 ways to lose fat more, the 3 ways to kick a soccer ball better. You're stuck out there doing it one-to-one, and that's just not fast enough to keep up with the pace of what's happening today. So you're stuck out there, no one knows your expertise. No one knows your authority. No one knows your positioning in the market. And positioning in the market, getting your expertise out, making a difference for people, that creates authority. And authority creates trust and credibility. When you have trust and credibility in the market because you've been out there sharing your message, sharing your content, educating people, entertaining people, empowering people, doing the work of what taking our message out there is really all about, when you create that trust and credibility, you create that authority. Authority brings a return on investment for sitting down and writing the blogs, sitting down and writing the emails, sitting down and working on the website. Without authority in the market, without authority online, with all the million voices out there, you're either lost in the shuffle or you're never heard. Or you just don't have enough trust and credibility for people to say, I'm going to take out my credit card and give you my money. And that's the third purpose of what going online is about. Making dollars. Now, unless you're a 501c charity, and I don't know about that, if you do, you still got to make money because you still got to fund the charity, but I'm assuming you're all in here to grow your businesses, to live a lifestyle, to go make a difference. You got to make money by going online. You got to fall in love with that process, and you got to start to get ready to embrace it. Because the thing that you're going to start doing, first of all, if you want to start making big dollars, you want to start making big impact, you got to stop the one-to-one selling, the one-to-one marketing, the one-to-one communication. If you're constantly stuck in the fact of, like, just think about this. If you're out there and you help a lot of people with back pain, like I remember as a trainer, I had gone through back surgery and all that, so I was really big once I rehabbed my back that I knew how to fix backs. That was one of my specialties that nobody in our area could touch me on because I was just the guy that could fix backs. But I used to have to say the same stuff over and over and over again about, you know what, you got to loosen up the hamstrings, the hip flexors, get your glutes firing more, get the core, take the same 5 things. I had to talk to everybody. And when I was doing it early on, it was always just me talking and talking and talking, and my business only grew as much as the referrals or as much as I could talk to people. But in the online world, you can stop the one-to-one selling, and you can kind of go what I consider like one to many, where you can start talking to many people, because you can write a report, a PDF, on the 5 best strategies to healing back pain. And that report can be out there generating, getting traffic driven to it on blogs, on emails, on websites, on forums. And people that are Googling how to help back pain, if it's done right, start finding your articles, your blogs, and your things like that. And now your voice is out there talking to many people, even while you sleep. Even while you sleep, you're making a difference. And that's the beauty about why we want to go online, because we're going to take your voice and we're going to amplify it out there so it can go out, make a bigger difference. I remember, see, for me, it all kind of began when I was sitting there struggling through the different things I was going through, my brick and mortar and all that. And I remember Todd kind of just told me about, Vito, you got to take this stuff that you know and you got to start packaging it ways, and you got to start doing this one-to-many stuff. And back then, it was, hey, stand up in front of a room and talk to people. And he, he gave us all of us in the mastermind the break to get up on a stage at the mentorship and start talking to people. And I remember it was the first time I started packaging my stuff into what back then was a version of an online course, which was really like email marketing with a bunch of attachments attached to it. But nonetheless, standing up in front of that room is the first time I did a presentation, and I sold 10 people on a product I had and made about $1,200. And I was just like, that was an hour of work making $1,200. That's game changing. And then I started to just do that, and I started to get on the speaking circuit and do the things, and I was like, that's the old way. Not that that's still not important. It's super important to be up on a stage talking to people, communicating to people. I love that live presenting. But that's not the only way you, I, any of us can get our message out anymore. That's a little bit of the old world where we have to travel, hit the stages, do all that key stuff. Love it. But today, you can create your own stage. And that's the online world. You can set up your own platforms to get your message out there. Because as you start doing that, you are amplifying your voice. You're not waiting for anybody to come over and anoint you to get on a stage. You, with a camera now, with all these tools, can set up your big 5 platforms. And those big 5 platforms, see, I forgot to fill in. Build your own stage. Cool. Our big 5 platforms. These are my favorite. Are there multiple platforms that you can go out there and build? Absolutely. There's a lot as you start to get into this online world of building your business online and marketing online. There's a lot of things. But initially, there's the big 5. These have the most impact that you can make out there. And I want you guys focused on some of the ones that are going to give you the best ROI for where the eyeballs are at, and that are also the easiest to go set up and go do. So obviously, you got a website and opt-in pages. Opt-in pages are actually more effective than a website today. A website is a cool place to direct people to. That's where they go back to check out if you're legit. Because they may have found your blog about 5 reasons that, 5 strategies to cure back pain, but then they're like, you know what, let me go check out this guy. And then they Google your name, and then your name lands on your website, and that's where they can check out a little bit more about you and see what you're really all about. But most people are not Googling our names. They're actually Googling the content that they want. 3 ways to run faster, 6 ways to jump fast, to jump higher. 3 strategies to lose the baby weight after pregnancy, whatever it is. They're all Googling that problem stuff that they're dealing with. And that's what's really important about understanding about why you go online. You're all going online so that you can actually solve people's problems and frustrations and help them move closer to their wants and their desires. Websites and opt-ins and all these platforms are just ways that you're going to start dispersing that message out there. Cool? Website and opt-ins, that's one of my favorites. In particular, opt-ins, love them, and you got to get those built. Then you've got your blog. Your blog is a super awesome freaking tool, but another one of my favorites, because you can literally create your platform of, what do I want to say today? How do I put that out there? Very easy to go to. And when we get into showing you the tools, I'll walk you through some super easy tools to get all these big 5 set up in minutes, hours, or a few days as compared to months, weeks, or years. So this way you guys are starting to move quick. But we'll get to tools in another episode. But your blog is another major one because it's very easy to tag on your website. It's very easy to tag from your email marketing, from your social media. So all these things are connected and bringing you as much traffic as you can. Email, to me, still number 1. Email marketing is one of the most cost-effective ways to market for very cheap. When you have authority with your market, they're excited about opening your emails, and that often means your message is being seen, heard, and hopefully taken action on. So email marketing is another major platform. Then we have social media. You got social media. Now, social media Top ones that I can think about though are obviously Facebook. Most eyeballs are on Facebook, depending upon what age generation you're in. Facebook is still the majority of where we're going. For our fitness industry, Facebook has a lot going on there. Number 2 to that is Instagram. Instagram is huge because of the graphic nature of fitness and nutrition and wellness and all that. People love posting the pictures and the graphics and all that stuff. Instagram is huge. You've got Twitter. Twitter, like it. Not my favorite tool out there, but it is out there. It's a great, easy, short way to communicate with people on things, but not the most effective in monetizing things. But if it's driving back to one of these other ones, it can be a very useful tool. And then you have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, my most top favorite ones right there. Am I missing anybody in there? YouTube. YouTube videos, huge. Getting those out there, starting to build your YouTube channel as a part of your social media network is huge. You just starting to put out little content of tips, tricks, strategies, messages, whatever you want to start communicating, creating that as a huge platform. Another major thing, again, all those things will connect all together so that this is all working in unison. And then finally is a newsletter. Newsletters are a cool way to provide awesome content to your tribe. Now, done right. I've watched most of the fitness industry do newsletters wrong. They're boring. They're like, it's like technician crap all the time. People want to be entertained, empowered, and educated. All 3 of those things should always permeate these platforms, these stages, and in your message. Because if you just start talking about the lumbopelvic hip complex, they're like out, they're gone. They want to be talking about the things that they're living and going through, which we're going to talk about when in an episode, our next episode, I'm going to cover some of the basic principles of how you tackle online. And then we'll look at some tools. So I'll give you a couple little stages that you can have some fun with and work through. But today, I wanted you to really understand the why. And knowing that there's a wide open window in the freaking online world that says in the next 5 years, 6 billion people can hear your message, buy your products, hear your authority, so that you can go out there and make that freaking difference that you want. That's the window we got to seize. You're going to tackle it by making sure you're purposeful about building your list, spreading your message, and making money online, because then you got the resources to keep the freaking machine running. You're going to quit that one-to-one to one-to-one to one. You're going to go one-to-many. You're going to start going one-to-many by building your own stage and setting these big 5 platforms up. So what I want is a small implementation exercise, and to share with the group is take an audit of your current assets. What do you have? Do you have any of these set up? And what are their numbers like? How big is your email list? How big are your followers on your blog? How much traffic are you getting to your website? How many people are on your Facebook or Instagram or whatever the ones that you're out there? And do you have a newsletter? Take stock of those and post below. You know what? I've got a newsletter, I've got Facebook set up, and these are the next ones I want to tackle. Because we can make, you want to make a little priority list of them, but current stock of your assets, current trends of where they're at, so that then you can make an identifiable difference as you start to apply the strategies and the principles I share with you. How big do these things grow for you? That's our little implementation exercise today. Stay tuned for our next episode where we dig into the principles that go into the content that you create on these platforms, the tools that you build, and then how does that eventually turn into you going out and starting to create products and programs. So I hope that served you today with how to start getting your business online. This is Vito with the Fitness Profit Systems and Fitnesspreneur's Life. Keep getting out there, going out, making that big difference. We got a lot of people that we have to go motivate and activate to take action, but it starts with you holding to your word. Look forward to seeing you soon.